You know what? Sometimes it is your environment that keeps you back from being able to step into your ideal self, from being able to really tap into your potential and become the version of yourself that will help you achieve your goals. I'm not telling you this so that you can go ahead and point fingers and say, this is why I can't reach my goals. This is why I am the way I am. But I'm telling you this so that you could recognize the power of accountability, of holding yourself accountable, of changing what's within yourself. Because once you do that, your environment will mold and shift into your ideal setting, into your ideal environment. And y'all know, if you guys watch this channel, that is not what we do here. We do not point fingers. We don't. But I want you to see your power. And when you do, everything is going to change regardless of where you are at, regardless of your environment. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bahja. If this is your first time seeing my face, then hey, welcome to the channel. And if you've been here before, like always, it is an honor and a pleasure to have you here with me. I'm so excited for today's video. Last weekend, I got invited out to Dallas to film a podcast with a friend, and it made me realize that I didn't get to be that version of myself at home a lot of the time. I didn't get to have those conversations with the people around me because the things that matter to me, the things that I truly love to talk about, isn't things that the people around me are interested in. And you don't really realize how limiting your environment is until you leave it. In order to experience opportunities and luck, you really have to place yourself in a position where those things can come and find you. And although I can pack my bags and move to New York and move to Dallas, it isn't necessary in order for me to place myself in that position, in order for me to place myself in a position where opportunities are coming to me. And I've been able to do that from the comfort of my home. And you can do the same regardless of your environment, regardless of where you are. You can place yourself in a position where everything that you desire will come and find you. And sometimes it might take a while in order for that to happen, but as long as you keep yourself in that place, ultimately it will find you. In this video, we're going to be talking about the impact that our environment has on us and how to reach your goals anyway, regardless of what is happening in your environment, regardless of what people around you are saying and doing. Your environment has shaped and molded you to be the person you are today. It shapes your identity that becomes the lens in which you view the world, your identity that caps your potential. This dictates the experiences that you experience, the people you meet, the people you surround yourself with, the opportunities you take on, the skills you learn, literally everything. It dictates everything. Unless you consciously choose to stop being a product of your environment, to really step back and ask yourself, what is it that I really want? And you go after that regardless of what the people around you are saying, regardless of what the people around you are doing. Unless you choose to rewrite your story and really question the beliefs that you have, you will be nothing but that. You will be nothing but a product of your environment. A lot of us are stuck there. A lot of us are stuck there, and that is all that will ever be. And we don't know how to get out of it. We think that it's okay, or we think that it's fine, because you don't really recognize that you are stuck in these patterns until something comes into your life and disrupts it, until something happens in your life, something that's so huge, and it makes you question things. And that's why I believe that hardships and challenges and things that come out of nowhere that disrupt your life are such a blessing, because it makes you question things. We never question things because we think it's normal, especially when it's normalized in our environments. Sometimes you have to experience something really tragic, or sometimes you have to experience loss in order for you to really find your potential. You might also be a little bit hard-headed like me and think, no, my environment doesn't shape me. It doesn't really affect my decision making. I have my own opinions. I'm my own person. If you think like that, then ask yourself why you do the things that you do. Literally become an observer of yourself, even the smallest, most mundane, most normal things in your day. Ask yourself, why do I do it? Why are you in the relationships that you're in? Why are you talking to that boy? Why are you eating the foods that you eat? Why do you spend your morning the way that you do? Why do you spend your evening the way that you do? Why do you follow the people you follow on social media? If the answer to that question isn't to aid the goals that you've consciously set for yourself, if it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't benefit you, then chances are you picked it up from your environment. Chances are you do that because the people around you have been doing that. And the reason why this is so important, and the reason why it's so stinking important, and I can't stress this enough, is because A lot of the behaviors that we do, a lot of the actions that we take, we do them consistently. We do them consistently because we're creatures of habit. So the things that you do, you probably do them consistently. And what you do consistently over a period of time will dictate your results, you are building your future with every single decision you make. So if your actions are not purposeful, if you aren't mindful of these things, which a lot of times we are moving through life in autopilot subconsciously, then you will end up somewhere you don't want to be. You will not be fulfilled with the life that you are leading. You will not be fulfilled with where you are. And that is because you haven't been consciously making those choices. And you're nothing but a product of your environment. You experience the reality that you are experiencing because of your identity. And that identity, if you didn't consciously choose it, was shaped and molded by your environment. Now, there's certain things from your environment and from your upbringing and from your childhood that you may enjoy. There's parts of your story that you may like, and you can always keep those things that serve you, things that are positive. But a lot of times, the things that we're constantly doing is not serving us. And even if you did consciously set those goals, it's so important to revisit them and ask yourself, is this still serving me? Because as you grow and as you evolve, your goals are going to be different. And if you're still operating from that old identity and that old mindset, then you're only going to be producing those results. So it's so important to do every single thing that you do, every action that you take with purpose. And this is why it is so important to rewrite your story. This is why I stress this so much, and I teach this in my course, and I teach this in every single YouTube video. I have an entire playlist called Rewrite Your Story, and you guys should definitely check out all those videos. This is why I stress it so much. To rewrite your story, to consciously choose your goals, to consciously choose your beliefs, to consciously shape your identity so that it could be aligned to what is authentic to you, rather than what people around you tell you to do, rather than the subconscious beliefs that you hold. Like Neville Goddard said, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live in. You do not need to change anything in your reality, in your 3D physical world, okay? And I cannot stress this enough. A lot of times we are literally fighting the 3D. We are fighting the people around us, fighting our homes, hating everything about our lives, and really just like fighting and battling that 3D reality and that 3D world. But what you don't realize is everything around you is really just a reflection of what's within you. You don't need to change anything in the 3D. You don't need to pack your bags and up and leave, run away from your city. Maybe that is a part of your journey and that is something you're going to need to do later on in the future, but that will happen naturally. You don't have to force it. What you have to change is your identity, your conception of yourself. You will change the world in which you live in naturally. Naturally, the world that you live in will shift. It is just the most beautiful thing. Okay. So first we have to learn how to separate ourselves from our environment, because our identities are built by our environment. So if we want to shift our identities, we have to be able to separate ourselves from that environment. We have to be able to break free from that. Although it has such a huge impact on you, you are not your environment. You are not your environment. I think we spend so much time trying to erase things that we don't like about ourselves, trying to get rid of all the things that we don't necessarily like. But that is not the approach that I take. And that is not what we're going to be doing here, okay? Rather than focusing on how our environment and our upbringing and our childhood and our past experiences has brought us to where we are, we're going to be building something new. Because what happens when you build something new is you will be able to uncover the limitations from our past, rather than constantly sitting and trying to reevaluate our entire lives. When you are building something new, all the limitations from your past that are keeping you back will come to the surface. And that is how you're going to be able to move on and move forward. Your identity can change. You are not stuck being the same person you are today. And neuroplasticity tells us that. Neuroplasticity tells us that when we give ourselves new experiences, we are changing our brain. And so this first step for me and on this channel will always be to build a vision for yourself, to create something new for yourself, something that you can strive towards and something that you can build. Our environments normally validate our behaviors, our beliefs, and our habits. Even if you're not in the same environment that you pick those habits and those beliefs up from, even if you're not in your hometown that you grew up in, you will always find yourself surrounded by aligned environment that still validates those old beliefs that you have. Because no matter where you go in the world, you will always attract those like-minded people. You will always attract those same experiences. And so you must choose your own opinions, your own beliefs, your own goals, your own values, your own beliefs, and really stand on them. And then your environment will naturally follow. Basically, what you're going to do is ask yourself questions like, what is the life that I want to lead? And write it down in detail. What is it that you actually want? What feels authentic to you? What is it that you want out of life? You really have to choose those things and then stand on them. Stand on them. In the main categories of your life, finances, health and wellness, relationships, what do you want? Create a plan. And I know I tell you guys this all the time, but small steps lead to big changes. The reason why I am able to do the things that I do today, the reason why I'm able to be the person that I am today is because I made small changes that were as small as go for a walk every single day. It is not big things that you need to do. It is really, 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 really tiny things that you need to do. Sit down and plan this stuff out. Create a vision, create a game plan, create your ideal character, the person that you would like to be, and take small steps every single day. Remind yourself of that vision often. Every single day, multiple times a day if you have to. The key to alignment is the consistency of setting your intention, of reminding yourself of your vision. Until you're actually living in that new reality, until you're actually that person, you're going to have to remind yourself again and again and again of your intention. And this can be affirmations, mantras, prayers, and for example, for me, I have 5 daily prayers. I'd say my affirmations in the morning. I have my 5 daily prayers where I pray for the life that I want, the person that I would like to be 5 times a day. That repetition is important because the actions you take is powered by your identity. The reason why those stuck and literally became your default setting is because of repetition. And so if you want to change your identity, you have to be consistent in reminding yourself of this new story. And when you do that, naturally your behaviors will start to change. The way you carry yourself will start to change, the way you walk and talk, and you will fall back into your old identity. That's just normal, but you have to pick yourself up and remind yourself again and again of who you're becoming and where you're going. The best exercise you can do, and this has actually helped me a lot, I'm not even gonna lie, is to consciously practice your old identity and then consciously and intentionally practice your new identity. And so when I wanted to be a little bit more confident in myself and carry myself in a more confident way, that was one of my goals. My ideal self is confident. She is confident. Okay. And so when I wanted to be a little bit more confident, I would go to, like, let's say I'm at an event. First of all, I'd be looking down at my phone. So I would consciously practice that. I would go in a corner, look down at my phone, hold my head low, avoid eye contact with anyone. And then I would intentionally practice my new identity, the one that I would like to embody. And yes, it is uncomfortable, but I would hold my head up high, just practice how that feels. You know what I mean? I just test the waters, practice how that feels, hold my head up high, walk up to somebody, introduce myself, and have a conversation. And what that does is it makes you realize that you are in control of both of those behaviors. You are in control of your behavior. What you thought was just, oh, that's just me, that's just how I am, I'm just shy, or I'm just not confident. You'll realize you have control over that, and the behaviors that you have control over, you can easily replace or get rid of. And so practice it. If you walk with your head low, practice walking with your head high. So that is a great exercise that I highly recommend you guys practice for all the new behaviors that you would like to practice. A lot of times we think that nothing is happening. When we do the small things and we take the small steps and we act like the person that we want to become and be, but that's really when everything is happening. I've had moments where I've been really hard on myself because I thought that if big shifts wasn't happening, then nothing was happening and I wasn't improving and I wasn't making progress. And that mental attitude led me to feeling like I wasn't good enough. And my focus was on the fact that nothing was happening. And because of that, nothing was happening. But the times where I slowed down and I was doing the affirmations and I was praying and I was really embodying that energy that I would like to experience, that is when I was making the most movement. Even if my 3D was still, even if my 3D was still, that is when I was making the most movement. As long as I stayed there and I was patient, when things started happening, they started happening quick. Whatever you're praying for, it will come in quick. When it comes in, it'll come in quick. But by staying aligned and embodying that version of yourself, that is when you're doing the most work. That is when you're making the most movement. Even if your 3D is still, even if your 3D isn't changing. And that's why you have to be patient and you have to have faith. When you decide to make these changes though, however, and you step into that version of yourself, the people around you will not like it. They will not like it. Okay. They will not like it. People will tell you that you're delusional, that can never be you. Even if they don't say it, They'll do things and say things where they're implying that. So let me tell y'all how y'all are gonna stay strong and take your own path even when people are telling you it's the wrong one. First, you have to understand that your vision is shown to you because it is meant for you. When something is placed in your heart, when you feel this sudden need to do something, that is for you, and it's not shown to the people around you. A lot of times you got to show them grace, okay? You got to show them grace because just like how you see things from your own personal paradigm, they also see the world from their own personal paradigm. However, if people are constantly showing you and telling you that it is impossible, that you can't do it, it is so easy to fold. It's so easy to fold. It's so easy to internalize that and become paralyzed by their words. It's so easy to believe it, especially when they're constantly saying it and they're constantly implying that. Sometimes people will get angry with you because it's like, how dare you go out and do that? Sometimes it'll be your own family, your own parents that can't see the vision that you hold, that don't support what you're doing. I'm not telling you guys to ignore what they're saying, but I'm telling you guys to form your own beliefs and stand strong. Form your own beliefs by questioning what they're saying. Is it true what they're saying? Is it impossible for me to grow on YouTube? Is it impossible for my business to grow? Ask yourself these and form your own beliefs and opinions by creating evidence for yourself. And we talk a lot about evidence portfolio, but you can build your evidence portfolio by learning, by reading the right books, by following the right people on social media, and by taking action and proving them wrong. Proving your belief right, that it is possible. So regardless of what people are saying around you, you have to take action. You have to stand on your own beliefs. You really have to. And when they're constantly telling you that it's not possible and that you can't be that, you have to remind yourself that it is. You have to have those conversations in your head and tell yourself it is possible. Their opinions and the things that they say is coming from their narrow-mindedness. They don't understand. They don't know what you know. They're talking and they're coming from their own paradigm, their own belief system, and they believe that. That is the reality in which they live in. It is not possible for them, but that's not the reality you live in. That is not the beliefs that you hold. That is not your paradigm. So build your own beliefs and stand on them. It's also important to ask yourself, does this person's opinion matter to me? Does it matter to me? Are they where you want to be? Do they actually have knowledge in that area? Those questions are really important. You have to stay open, but also stay firm. Be open to new perspectives. Be open to learning new ideas. Be open to listening to people's stories, but also stay firm in your beliefs because that firmness will help you stay aligned to your vision. And I promise you, when you are aligned, God will bring every single thing that you need to you. The right people, the right things, your environment will really start to shift. You might lose people in your life, but that's just because they're not aligned with you. They're not going where you're headed, and that's okay. And that's why a lot of times when people start to change and they start to become better, they lose a lot of their friends. But you got to lose that in order to make room for new and better things. You will find people that see your vision. And sometimes you won't find people that see your vision, and you just got to prove it to them. You just got to prove it to yourself. You have to do it for yourself. And you have to have faith that God does not put a dream in your heart without giving you those capabilities of achieving them. And so that is all that I have for you guys today. I really hope this message reaches all the people that it needs to reach. I pray and I hope that all of your visions and your dreams and your goals becomes your reality. And I truly cannot wait to see all that y'all become. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you so much, and I hope to see you next time.